I'm curious, how did a day look like on that 67-day journey?
Absolutely. So I'll run you through a day, and in pretty much every day looked exactly like the next day. Some days it rained, some days there was hills, some days there was wildlife on the, but every day was pretty much within half an hour, give or take, of the previous day. Um, because you knew what line to stay under when it came to zone efficiency, speed, everything. That sometimes the reason why you'd be a bit slower is a big headwind or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So my day would look like I would always get up at 4 o'clock in the morning every day, every day. And so my alarm would go off and you'd roll out of bed. And, on day 20, when you're rolling out of bed, you feel like a bag of smashed somethings. It is not a good feeling. It is a terrible, horrible feeling. And that's when the mental game begins, because you have to not let that override your desire to want to get out onto the road. You want comfort, you want to go back into bed, but you just can't, right? So you move forward. And your crew member, we always stayed in a hotel room that was relatively close to where we finished the day before. And so my crew member would end up making oatmeal and kind of get things organized and packed up. And I would eat a ton of oatmeal with peanut butter and maple syrup and all those things in it, drink coffee, and be driven out to the start line. I would always start my run at 5 o'clock in the morning, give or take 5 to 10 minutes. And at that point, I wouldn't see my crew vehicle. So there was no crew vehicle behind me or with me at any one time. I always believed that if there's a crew vehicle with me with cold drinks, I would stop more frequently than I needed to, because I want cold drinks. Comfort, right? I'm a slave to comfort. We all are. And so my crew vehicle would drive up ahead 20 kilometers, and I wouldn't see them for 2 hours. I would always show up within those 20 kilometers within a matter of about 2 minutes. It was always consistent every day. Then the crew vehicle would open up the trunk, and I had about 3 to 4 minutes to grab my stuff and get out of there. Again, I'm slave to comfort. I'm going to want to stay, but I need to go, right? And so then I would grab my stuff, go. I would eat on the way. You're constantly eating. You're constantly putting something in your mouth. And you wouldn't see your crew vehicle for another 20 kilometers. So you see them on the 40-kilometer mark. And then at that point, you'd see them on the 50, 60, 70, 80, 85, 90, 95, 100, and 105-kilometer markings. And that's really pretty much it. All you did was jog. That's all you did. You try to entertain yourself with thinking of things. I was looking in the ditches for really cool finds. I would call my mother on the phone and tell her everything was okay. Everything really wasn't okay, but that's what you tell your mother. And you get done your run that day. You drink a smoothie. It's about 2,000 calories. And immediately you are eating and eating and eating and treating your body. I'm a massage therapist, so I was working my soft tissue. And you basically eat in your Normatec recovery pants until you fall asleep with food in your mouth, and you wake up at 4 o'clock the next morning and it's Groundhog Day. You do it all over again. And so since the one day worked, the next day worked, the next day worked, and you build confidence. My 105-kilometer days started extending to 107, 108, but never more than that, simply because 24 hours in a day is not a lot of time.